Within 10 seconds of this comment coming out, oil had moved 200 ticks. If everyone's looking one way and all looking at the Iran situation, all waiting for a truth from Donald Trump, you're missing the opportunity. We've dropped from just below 99 all the way to 95. So you got 400 ticks. But that's nowhere near the conclusion of the move. It then does an extra 1,000 ticks. It does all of this in a matter of 5 minutes. The scale of the opportunity is absolutely enormous. March 2026 was full of massive opportunities. So what we're going to go and have a look at is the top 3 opportunities of the month of March for Axia. So here we go then. Breaking them down, there were multiple big opportunities, but there were 3 major chances throughout March. The 9th, the 19th and the 23rd. There was an equally big or nearly as big opportunity on the 24th of March as well, but we're going to cover 3 here. These 3 were relating to the Iran invasion and then a narrative within a narrative which is relating to the ECB. Narratives play a massive role in trader performance. These can be your big opportunities. This can be your chance to make your year. And this is why we put a lot of emphasis on understanding narrative, not simply just trading technicals. So you want to know more about understanding narrative, links below. Come join us and find out how we train all of our traders to understand narrative, make the most of these opportunities. These opportunities then were the Trump truth suggesting that the war could be over soon. We had the ECB talk of possibly a rate hike in June. Now this is all because of the oil narrative. Oil prices rising, causing inflation, running the risk of rate hikes later on in the year. And then finally, we had the ceasefire. This was the real big one. This was ideal timing, easy to plan for, and I'm going to talk through the kind of rationale and mentality about how you go about a trade like this, because this for many people will have been their best ever day. This for many people will have been a day bigger than their best ever previous year. That's the scale that some of these opportunities have. We do already have another video, so link below to that as well, with Alex and Pete discussing just that 23rd of March day. So let's get to it then. We're going to start off with the 9th of March. Now, this was one that came out. We got Trump saying that the war could be over soon. This came via CBS. And he says, I think the war is very complete, pretty much. Now, the tricky bit with this is that this is not as easy as you think. The reason it's not as easy as you think is it's not definitive. One of the things that you're looking for is what a lot of traders call a numbers trade or a facts trade. Now, the suggestion that it could be over soon doesn't give you any indication of exactly when soon is. Now, the reason this was still very valuable was because of the fact that sensitivity had gone up. We were at the beginning of this war. Remember, the initial attacks on Iran were only at the beginning of March. So we were not far in. Sensitivity is very high at this point in time. So whilst it is unclear, there is still very good scope for movement. And it's all about understanding where you are in the narrative here. You know, if this had come out towards the end of March as a comment, this would probably have far less impact. And in fact, there was a similar comment to this near the end of March, which almost created no reaction at all. This was what you got then. So this is then breaking it down onto a 5-second chart. And when you look at it like this, you can see this is an oil chart, just how tricky this is. So this is a move starting over here at 17 minutes past, running, if we go to 37, so 20 minutes to get to here. And there's not really a moment in this where you get this surge to the downside. And this is my point on this being rather a tricky one to take on. Because whilst this does, in a way, look like a quite nice, steady trend lower, the move is very large. This, remember, is a 5-second chart. Within 10 seconds of this comment coming out, oil had moved 200 ticks. Which means if you weren't very quick on it, you are quite possibly getting in somewhere down here. And then the challenge comes that you then have to sit for a further minute and a half before the news really starts to get picked up. And this was the real challenge that we found throughout March. News gets picked up by different news wires, and it's getting picked up on social media faster than it is on other news wires. And so then you were getting movement and then waiting to see whether this was actually true, to see whether this was a rehash of a previous comment. And so then we end up with these kind of steady, slow pullbacks. It does then eventually go, and this is where your patience comes in. This is where recognizing that this is a big trade, this is a big deal comes in. For many, they ended up taking losses here, but getting back in as we started to take out lows. Once you start to realize that, yes, this is a big deal and markets are grabbing hold of this and starting to run with it. So what's really key with narrative is not just the simple smash and grab news approach that many people think that news trading is. It's also about understanding the significance of the comment and whether everybody in the market has actually got hold of it. Really, you were getting to around here before it was sort of on all news wires, and then you get the steady continuation. This move in total goes around about $14, which is 1,400 ticks. So it's a huge move, but rather slow, rather steady. There's also a question as well of, is oil the best place to be? It's the obvious place to go, yes. But we could have been looking at the euro. We could have been looking at treasuries. We could have been looking at S&P. And then you've got European government bonds, the Bund and the Schatz. You've also then got Euro stocks as well. European markets, remember, are much closer to this and much more affected by what is going on. And so we're then seeing arguably bigger moves, at least percentage-wise, in the European bonds and European stocks than you do in the equivalent US ones. So really important to understand where or which markets are getting the greatest impact. There's also a lot more opportunity in these. Within the first minute, oil's gone up, it's gone back, it's then started to go down. Euro stocks gave you so much more time on this to get in at good prices. So appreciating what's the best market choice is crucial. Again, something we spend a lot of time going through with traders, what would be the best opportunity for you and the most viable opportunity as well. Now, with all this talk of higher oil prices and the risk of inflation, this then brings about the possibility of interest rate hikes. So we then end up with a narrative within a narrative. Bonds do not react as you might typically expect. Now, historically, when oil prices rally and when uncertainty increases, or if oil prices rally due to uncertainty, you would think people are going to move to bonds as a safety play. They sell equities and they buy bonds. Not when there's inflation. And the oil prices rallying creates inflation. This causes bond markets to sell off, pricing in the possibility of interest rate hikes. So we then get to the ECB, and during the press conference, Lagarde stays pretty non-committal. Now, in staying non-committal, she's essentially not agreeing with the market's view that interest rates could well be going up. And so that in itself creates a bit of a dovish spike, a bit of a rally. Appreciating central banks is vital, and again, something that we train all of our traders on. Link below if you want to know more about that. So this is another good example of a situation where we don't have facts. We've got ideas, and the ECB has suggested that they will publish some of these different scenarios. They've suggested the outlook is significantly more uncertainty. But what they've not done is explicitly said what they might do about it. And the market is looking for information about whether they may raise rates. So what we then get is an ECB sources. ECB sources are very, very typical and provide an opportunity for a more explicit piece of information. So what we then get here is after the press conference, which left really options open. We didn't know exactly what was going to happen. So this is the press conference down here. We then get a sources comment that is much clearer. April likely too early for any hike, June is more likely. So if you were wondering whether the ECB might be willing to hike interest rates, the sources say explicitly that yes, they are thinking down those lines. And this was the information that really most people wanted during the press conference. We didn't get it, but the sources provide you with the big opportunity. Shorter term rates are going to be the better place to be, so the Schatz is the one to go for here. So there we have it. ECB sources. One of those where if everyone's looking one way and all looking at the Iran situation, all waiting for a truth from Donald Trump, you're missing the opportunity on whether or not a central bank may raise rates or not. So that was the second opportunity. The big one, this was your kind of golden ticket trade. This was the ceasefire trade. Now, one of the things with any kind of war, and you could say the same about the Russia-Ukraine one, is that you know this is coming. Wars don't last forever. At some point, there will be a ceasefire and there will be a conclusion. Where these opportunities are most valuable is when they come quickly. When the narrative is at its peak, when we are constantly and everybody is looking for more and more information on this, everyone's looking at the same thing. This is when they have the greatest value. So you can plan for this. You know, it's not something that you shouldn't have planned for or should be surprised by. It is coming. It's just you're hoping it comes soon. If you have planned for this, crucially, you've got to ask yourself some questions. What markets will you trade if a ceasefire gets announced? What targets are you going to have? That's something that every day you should be looking at and saying, okay, if this opportunity comes along, where do I think we're going to get to? How long do you need to stay in the trade for to reach those targets? Have you looked at previous opportunities? Have you traded or did you trade the one on the 9th of March? How long did you need to hold on for that one? How long have you got to get in as well? It's all well and good saying, well, it could go 200, 300, 500 ticks. But if you can't get yourself into that and you're selling halfway down the move, you're taking on a huge risk. So you need to have these questions answered. You plan the opportunity, you visualize the opportunity, you execute the opportunity. This is what many traders did so well. So we've got 4 markets there. These were your sort of core markets that people went to. You've got oil. We've got Bund. Bund became a favorite to trade. Again, it's that bond play. Euro stocks and S&P. If you visualized exactly which of these you're going to hit, which one you're going to go to first, second, third, then you put yourself in a great place. The news hits, you need to know how fast you can get into this. That's 5 seconds. So if you're within 5 seconds, you're in a wonderful position. We could then run a whole other YouTube session on dealing with volatility stops, because we saw a volatility stop. The S&P essentially shut. So if you weren't in within 5 seconds, it was getting away from you and you could do nothing about it. It's a real key to recognize how quick you need to be on it, but not just how quick. How far do you realistically think this is going to go? Because the key to getting on a trade and being able to maximize the opportunity is having at least a sense of how far you're going to hold this. Otherwise, you run the risk of seeing yourself shoot on side and thinking, wow, that's a massive winner, I'll bank that. You know, for example, with oil, within 20 seconds, we have dropped from just below 99 all the way to 95. So you got 400 ticks. Even with just one lot, that's $4,000, one standard oil contract. But that's nowhere near the conclusion of the move. It then does an extra 1,000 ticks. And it does all of this in a matter of 5 minutes. So the scale of the opportunity is absolutely enormous. And this is because it's crystal clear. Unlike the war could be over soon comment, Trump explicitly says they will end all military engagements as of now. So This is absolutely crystal clear. It is happening right now. There's no need to wait for anything. There's no uncertainty. This is why it's such a big deal. So it's really key that you visualize these, because in the moment when markets are moving so fast and so far, if you haven't planned it out and you haven't visualized what it's going to look like when you max size each of these trades, you're going to struggle to deal with getting yourself in when you've seen the market that you're looking at trading drop already 200 ticks, or you've seen the S&P jump from say 10 up to 75 and you're questioning, should I still be buying this up here? You need to have that plan already. In terms of targets, this is where your technicals come in. Just because a lot of our traders trade news doesn't mean they're not very, very good technicians. The way that you're going to be able to hold on to some of these things is by looking at your bigger time frame charts. If you're looking at an oil chart, you've got levels down here. So you've got kind of minimum targets of $7 plus. But once you're down here as well, it's about then looking and saying to yourself, okay, well, I can stay in as long as we stay below, say, 93. I'm good on this. It's a similar thing with Euro stocks. You've basically had a sell-off the previous day. Can you reverse the entire sell-off? At least get into this area. So it's about that planning side of it, not just what could happen and what are you going to do, but the planning element of where are you going to take this to if you're given this opportunity. You know, the S&P, very, very clear target up here, 6,700, which is a full 200 points in the S&P. Plan these things out, visualize what it's going to look like, and then execute. That's how so many traders did so exceptionally well on this day.